This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
Hi, my name is Monty Moore. I'm with Realty One Group Music City.
And I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we're coming back posting new episodes full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Anything real estate related or mortgage related, ask away. Questions at talkmusiccity.com. That's questions at talkmusiccity.com.
We're so very thankful for our sponsor, Music City Removal. Music City Removal is the #1 junk removal service in Nashville. From residential, commercial, and construction, they're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free online estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute. I got to get that right.
Clutter ain't cute.
It ain't cute. That's all. That's for sure. Hey, so we've got an important topic. We have the very own Jason Hoover in the house today again. We're so very blessed and thankful for him and all that he brings to our show. So welcome, Jason.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
I told you last time, one of the last times, Carey Ann, that there's not a day that goes by that I don't thank God for Jason Hoover and Mindy Hoover. They're such an amazing addition to this family of professionals. I'm so grateful. I know you've got amazing people in your family. We've got amazing people in our family. It just keeps getting more and more.
It's all about who we surround ourselves. So there you go.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it's that time right now that we're all taking out our Clorox and our Lysol and our gloves, and I'm prepared for this podcast there, Monty. I'm prepared.
I see. Where's my gloves?
Nope, I just came prepared myself. Today...
Each to their own, Monty.
I love it. Today at the office, I saw a whole thing of bleach, just pure bleach, on the counter. I said, what's happening here? And supposedly if we can't find... I guess I'm teaching them science in my office. Mortgage turned science, but if you can take the bleach with the water in a spray bottle, that's the same difference.
Right.
And so if we run out of these, and
less expensive.
And yes, but we can't find the Lysol wipes. So we're trying to be prepared and cautious in the office, and put proper protocols in so everybody feels comfortable, because we want business as usual. Rates are nice and low. We want people excited about purchasing and or refinancing.
So, Jason, what are your thoughts on what we're dealing with right now with this coronavirus situation? I shared on the huddle call this week that, look, guys, we have to acknowledge there's certainly something happening out there, and it's real, and it is increasing in significance. At the same time, let's not let it control the direction of the ship any more than we have to. But I don't know that I've gotten your take on it.
Well, the way that I approach it is that it's definitely something to consider. It is a concern. Mm-hmm. Let's not discount it at all.
Right.
I mean, there are things that are happening, and we in our lifetime have never experienced it.
Right.
Okay. Because it is a pandemic, not it's something that is global, so it is completely different. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the fear, too, is coming from what's going to occur because of this. What are the repercussions of what is occurring in our market right now? And then, two, couple that with that we are in real estate. This is coming into our money months, right?
That's right.
This is when the bulk of the year, your money is made. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden this happens. So there's definitely a viable fear out there. And so my take on it is like, yes, so I acknowledge it, and I want this thing to pass, and what we need to do, take care of it. Now, I don't overreact. Well, in my opinion,
sure,
we're not overreacting. My family's not overreacting on it. Not to say anything against anybody else.
Sure.
But so we had to acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
This is our reality right now. And then
initially, I kind of poo-pooed it oh, come on, you guys, you're creating your reality and so forth. It is real, though.
It is real. And so we've got to acknowledge that and embrace it and then decide what we're going to do about it.
Correct.
And so, and I'm with a lot of people is that, I don't know what's going to happen in 3 months.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen to the market. And that's just part of the business that we're in. But I know that I cannot personally control it. So for me and my household, it's for the most part, it's business as usual. We're still taking care of our clients. We're still making our lead generation calls. We're still sending out emails. We're still doing business.
That's right.
Because rates are still low. There's still houses out there that need to be sold because people are still moving. People are still have life goals that they are wanting to achieve.
Right, yeah.
And there's still buyers that are moving here that are needing homes. And we just got an offer today on one of our listings, and we've got new listings. We're still doing business at this point. So the way I see it is that yes, it is our reality. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to keep us from doing business.
I think we need all just navigate through this, in a way.
Navigate is a great word.
And realize that, and we're all been in the trainings to know what we do today is what will show up 90 days from
90
now.
days.
So if we just freeze, which I was in a position of being Frozen 3, Frozen 2 just came out. I've got a 7-year-old, but being frozen there for a second, going, okay, what do I do? And we are blessed in the mortgage part that refinances are keeping us very busy. But you and I both know that I'm a purchase-centric company, which means I focus, and I stayed in business now 18 years because I focused on purchase business.
Yes.
I wasn't a lender that just focused on the highs of the refinance booms, because then I wouldn't be in it with you guys today. But what are agents doing to navigate their buyer to create comfort and confidence through this, or their seller? And maybe you can give some suggestions to the real estate agents out there, because I see open houses and I'm like, well, are they going to the open house, and how do we take that online, and is that online safe? I don't know, right? So trying to talk this through in a way where I'm so thankful for mobile applications now. I'm working hard to even work with the lenders to get our closings to be mobile, and even an e-signature. And so that's a new phase, a new innovation is created through sometimes the difficult times, right? And so we're working really hard to try to create some innovative concepts here to create growth and opportunity. So maybe you can share with our audience, your thoughts on how you would navigate through that buyer that is cautious. How do you provide that comfort?
It's just having that conversation with your clients. So let's say if your client's the seller and they're not comfortable people coming through the house, you are helping them where they're at. That's where they're at. I'm scared. I don't want people in my house. Okay. So are you okay that we postpone this, or do we need to keep moving forward? I completely get that, and see what you can do to minimize the foot traffic on that house. Maybe it's okay, we won't do any showings. We'll have a 2-hour span, maybe like an open house on one day, and everybody can come at that point that is interested in the house. That way they're not having to go out. We're supposed to not be going out of our homes as much right now. And so that's one option. Okay, we're not doing showings. We're just going to have just one window of opportunity for people to come through and take a look at the house, and then we'll disinfect it and everything else afterwards.
I go back on that topic there, Jason. I go back to the performing an effective mega open house. And
it works.
And explaining to the seller, look, we can control when this home sells based on our pricing. Let's price it a little more aggressive, possibly. And we'll do what we call a mega open house. We'll get a bunch of people in there on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Only 10.
That's right. 10 at a time is what I'm saying, though. Just a bunch of people in groups of 10.
Okay.
We'll pass out numbers.
Take a number. Oh, you're number 11. Sorry, you have to wait for the next group. But seriously, we can work around those kind of things. My biggest challenge with this thing is that I do have a personal conviction that we do create our reality in a lot of ways. What I don't want to see, and this is to the real estate community here, is primarily what our podcast is directed to. So I'm talking to realtors, and hopefully some are paying attention here. But let's not let this situation create our future. I mean, we're going to feel it as it is, but let's go ahead and do the things that we're talking about here as far as be cautious and be prepared and be sensitive to the consumer, certainly. but let's also do the things that maybe we won't have time to do when this new surge happens. Because when this does get over with,
right.
I mean, we're going to be rocking and rolling.
Right.
We're going to be wishing that we had taken the time that we had to sit in, rather than sit in a fetal position, to be doing things, whether that's being writing letters to our clients or doing things that take time that when we're busier, we seem to not put as a priority.
That's why I said you keep doing business.
That's
it's
right.
Business as usual. And we haven't pulled back on our advertising. We're still getting leads, just like nothing's ever happened. We're still getting people that are signing up for our website and everything else. If you were only looking at that, you wouldn't think anything else was going on.
That's right.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
You spoke about the seller, and so the flip is, how do we make that buyer comfortable coming into that mega open house? I mean, I am so excited you have a mega open house, but I may not come into it right now, right? Just being, so what precautions do you put in place so you can tell me in advance when I'm about to come? Because I really need a house and I really want to see this house, but what precautions are you putting in place, right? Type of thing.
Sure.
Or, you navigate that buyer as well. So they see that, you're still offering all this and it's a smooth and I'm comfortable.
I showed homes this past Sunday and every house I walked into that had an agent, they were there with their liquid sanitizer, to rub on everything. And it was very clear that somebody had just cleaned the house. You could smell it in the air, the fresh aroma of Clorox, But I think there's some things to convey to people that this is a safe zone. We're good here. We're very conscientious of what's going on. Here's my take on this too, Jason. You already touched on it. And that is right now or this evening, sitting around the kitchen table, just like the table we're sitting around right now, there's discussion where maybe Mrs. Smith is telling Mr. Smith, hey, I just realized I'm pregnant. We need a bigger home.
Sure.
Or Mrs. Smith is telling Mr. Smith, I don't like you anymore. I want a divorce. I mean, there's a lot of things. Life's going to continue to happen whether there's a virus or not. And there's a ton of people. We know that prior to this happening, there was 85 people a day coming to Nashville area. And there's still got to be a bunch of people still coming here. They got to live somewhere. They've still got to live somewhere. I've been doing this for 36 years, and I've seen a lot of stuff happen during that 36 years. And what I can try to reassure our agents that are listening to this is that this too shall pass. You're going to wish you had redeemed the time if you fail to do so, as far as doing the other things that you are not going to have time to do when this thing's over.
Well, I've got something to think about. Positive is think about how great our business is going to be around November and December.
Oh man,
when all of these people have new babies.
You did the math on that, didn't you?
I did the math.
You did the math. I love it. That's funny.
So instead of war babies, they're going to be called Corona babies.
And then we cheer with the beer, right?
Yeah,
with the limes.
Coronials, I think.
How many people are going to be named Corona? How many little?
There was a discussion about naming the new puppy Corona. I was like, that's a little much. We're not going to do that. But I think, with even for folks in my industry, that maybe weren't busy even before this, and now they're going to feel a little bit of a lull. This is the time to really, if we're forced to all work from home, which is very hard for me to do because I am truly an extrovert, so you're keeping me away from people. It's very hard, but taking the time to really work on your business. What does that mean? Look at me. Bonnie was like, why is your purse so heavy? Look at all these books in my purse.
Awesome. I'm so glad you can see you got the energy bus.
I got the energy bus. I got a leadership book.
John Maxwell. I love John Maxwell.
I got all kinds of books.
This is a great book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team.
But taking the time to work on your business and prepare for when things are about to happen, a couple months from now.
Immerse yourself in your business. Come out of this thing stronger than ever, more qualified than ever. Remember, money follows value. Let's not wish that it was easier out there. Let's wish we were better. And then we can take control of that future by becoming better, by studying. Look at this girl.
It's a mind shift. It's
a mind shift.
Are you going to focus on the hysteria that's going on? Right. Or do you want to be the business that you decided to be?
That's right.
And actually work on the business.
Amen. That is right.
Be a better person.
And be creative. Utilize this time to. I shared with the team, I want everybody's eyes open, not closed, like open for opportunity, not to be able to sell this for $300. That's not what we're talking about. Opportunity where what can you do to be different than you were yesterday? How can you capture another opportunity to make a difference in someone else's life, right? Make 3 more phone calls if you don't have that option. But everybody in our environment for our office is moved into sales, basically. The ops, every loan that crosses our desk right now, we need to make sure that it closes, because that is important for all of us, right? It's more critical than ever. Yes. We can't just have a whoops, we need to double check our work and triple check our work, et cetera. But, really focused, I see a lot of cancellations, cancel. And I'm like, the word cancel has turned into such a negative thing. Yeah. I'm love to have parties. Clearly I have them all the time, educational parties, right? I call them. But I could cancel them, or I could figure out a way to move them online. So people are still learning education and growth during this downtime, if we're going to be forced at home. So what can you do to take your whatever you're doing online? Can you create new groups, of people and get people following you in a different way that you can provide more value?
You did that last week with the Rockstar Rookies, didn't you? You normally do that in person, and you did it online last week?
We're absolutely, and I think that was important. We had 35 people register. We sent all the information to them so they could follow along. So yes, it's a way that instead of canceling, like right now we're talking about the real estate blaze. I love offering that to all of our local real estate agents, but if we can't all meet and we're not allowed to, meet, how can we take that online and still provide a lot of value for everybody?
And that's one thing I like about Realty One. It's that we have the One University, and there's over 1,500 hours of training.
Over 2,000 now. They
over 2,000
500 hours.
Okay, yeah, I haven't caught up yet. I'm still working on it, but it's really good. Really good
all
training.
Free of charge.
Yeah, and it's accessible. So right now is a perfect time. If you're not out doing business, showing houses, doing open houses, start learning.
There's no reason that whenever this does pass, there's no reason that we as professionals can't shift gears to because there's going to be some pin-up demand. I think that's what some folks are failing to understand, that when this does bottom out, peak out, whatever you want to call it, there's going to be some pin-up demand, because those people who have done some temporary things, they're going to be in the hunt for a home.
Right. And I would say and maybe suggest, because lately our industry, we're so fast, right? So they find the house before they even know if they have the money to buy the house, right? So this is the perfect time to actually change the culture and start it the way that you should start it, where there's steps. And step 1 is preparing yourself. Get all the paperwork done. That is good for 120 days. And I hope to goodness we are out of all this within 120 days, and maybe you want to do something sooner. But if you're one that still wants to pause, or your client wants to pause, at least get the loan ready to rock and roll, right? And all of that is taken care of, because it's cool to give a pre-approval letter, but how cool would it be to give an approval letter, a true underwriting approval letter? Right. That would take your negotiations up a total next step, over and above, cash, et cetera. So, encouraging your clients to begin that process sooner than later. And did you know that you can lock your interest rate in before you find a property? Did you know? That's
I didn't
huge.
know that. I thought you had to have an address.
Yeah, we used to, but now there's opportunity for folks to be able to lock. So if they see that rate that they're really comfortable in, and maybe rumor has it rates are going to make this shift or that shift. And again, I put a post the other day about a roller coaster. I mean, we went from one rate to an entire point higher in 4 days. I mean, and then, the market's just all over the place, and you take a breath and there is a price change, and now rates have, had some relief, which is a good thing for everybody. And there's a lot of refinances, which is wonderful, but this is the perfect time to get pre-approved and maybe lock in that low rate to be able to purchase.
We just sent out a letter to our database, all our past customers. Hey, it's a really great time to call Carey Ann and make sure that you've got the best rate going, or maybe put it on a shorter term, do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity there, not only just to lower your rate, but like you said, change the term, consolidate your debts, et cetera.
So a week from now, let's pray that we're not going to need any of that Clorox stuff, okay? Or those gloves, right?
Well, Aubrey's school right now is closed till the 30th of March. What is your school closed
April 3rd.
April 3rd. So it's about that same. So about another week or so away. And what do we do at that point? I mean, I need her back at school. They gave me the online. I mean, it's like homeschooling. My poor kid I don't know what to do. Just read this and tell me what it says. I'm like the worst teacher. I was like, I paid money to send you to school for a reason.
Yes,
but they gave me all this homework. And then they reached out and said, you're not completing your tasks daily. And I was like, oh, I'm not very good at being this teacher at home, but
nothing checked your ego until your child brings their homework and asks you to help them.
Oh, I know, right?
Goodness. I couldn't do it in today's world.
My son, I've always said, math was my best subject. I love math, and I did great in math. And he's 10. He brings me his math homework. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, son.
Well, they gave us even gym classes right now. What she has to do, she has to do 3 sets of 20 jumping jacks, every day during this time frame, which is a good thing. They have to keep them busy. So, but I think, like you said, we've made it through 2008, right? We'll make it through now. We'll be bigger and better because of it. It's
like
just hanging on.
Be creative. It's a time to get quiet and think. When back in 2008. When things were looking like doom and gloom, I got out of the box and thought, well, let's try this business model. And it ended up propelling me to a level that I'd never been before because I got out of the box. Let's use this time whatever way we can. If it's reading a pile of amazing books like this, if it's just getting quiet, or if it's doing a lot of manual things you're not going to have time to do later on, as far as getting ready to really embrace your client base or create a new client base, whatever it is, let's redeem the time. Let's stay, and let's understand this, that our clients are depending on our professional vantage point as well. Okay. Yesterday I got a call from one of my clients concerned. He goes, is anybody buying a home? My home hasn't been shown for a few days. And I said, I didn't want to mention his name. I said, yes, sir, they are. As a matter of fact, we sold 2 homes. I sold 2 homes just the day before. Things are still happening. We've got to not be doom and gloom. We've got to look at it as a scale. And the quicker we get that weight of everything's going to be all right, it's going to happen quicker. Okay. It's not that easy, but it's going to happen quicker. I promise.
What do they say? Right. Feeling excited and ready for the time that's going to happen here soon enough. So.
Well, let us not forget that, business happens when problems are solved.
That's
true.
It's
just the problem's going to change.
That's true.
So we got to change with it.
Yep. And, there's a lot of people that, are temporarily without, work. And I know so many business owners are working hard to keep them afloat, during that time frame. And so they're going to be ready to want to do something, and keeping in contact with them, and making sure that everybody is feeling comfortable, and confident throughout this is what we need to do. So
thanks again, Jason, for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Carey Ann, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Always good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For the opportunity to share our reality here, what they're dealing with at the moment. We know we're going to get past it. And we're grateful for this, another opportunity to grow, right?
Absolutely. We will. And we will see you again next week. Thank you so much for listening. For more podcasts, check out talkmusiccity.com.